All right, welcome to the Keeping the Nostalgia Live show. I am your host, Billy Powell. This is show number 198, and you can listen to all of the shows at Keeping the Nostalgia Live. That's all one word, keepingthenostalgialive.podbean.com. We also have a YouTube channel that you can watch, which this program will be put on also. And just go to YouTube and type in Keeping the Nostalgia Live show, and you'll find us in there. And as you can see with us today, our guest is Eron Gordon. Eron, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule and spending some time with us to help keep the nostalgia alive and talk about the game of basketball in your life.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Eron, tell us a little bit. I mean, everybody knows about your family, but
hmm
for those who live underneath a rock, tell us a little bit about your mom, your dad, your brothers, what they all do, and just give us a little bit of idea of where you come from and what your basketball career.
I'll start off with my dad. My dad was a basketball player. He first originally started playing basketball at Westlake Middle School. Then he eventually went on to North Central High School with the Indiana All Star. Then he played at Liberty University in Virginia, had a good career there. Then had a stint in a couple NBA tryouts, didn't necessarily make it, and then went into pharmaceuticals. My mom was from Nassau, Bahamas, the capital of the Bahamas, and she met my dad at Liberty University where they went to school. My brother Evan played basketball at North Central High School, graduated at Hargrave Military Academy. Then he went on to play at three different universities. He played at Liberty University. He then went to Arizona State and finished off his grad year at Indiana University. And Eric, as you all know, played at Northview Middle School, then played at North Central, played at IU for a year, and then this is going on his 13th year in the NBA. He played with the Los Angeles Clippers his first three. Then he played with New Orleans Pelicans for 4 years, and then no 5 years, and he played. This is going to be his fifth year with the Houston Rockets.
And we're coming to you from Houston, Texas. So he is a integral part of that Houston Rockets basketball team.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about when did you know that this? When did you know that your first introduction to the game of basketball?
So my first introduction to the game of basketball was playing at the Municipal Gardens on the west side of Indianapolis. That was the first place that all my brothers had their first taste of basketball, just getting a better understanding of what it's like to play with others who are really good and to understand that there are different levels and what the competitive nature of basketball is.
Man, the Municipal Gardens had a run from when they started all the way. What a great lineage.
Yeah, it was a lot of greatest players from Indianapolis played there. I think every great player from Indianapolis had a stint there. You can look at all the way back from Oscar Robertson to just guys recently like Jeff Teague, Mike Conley, obviously everyone in my family, and then you have younger guys like the C.J. Walker. Those guys played there at Ohio State, so just for a little rec league, they're doing pretty good.
Did you ever meet or did you ever hear about Coach Red Taylor, who was the coach at Municipal Gardens for years?
Yeah, I was able to meet him a couple of different times when I was younger.
Yeah,
I
Coach.
wouldn't about 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, Coach Red Taylor, great. He actually probably put AAU on the map if you really think about it.
Yeah, I think so. I think when he was the guy that started when a lot of the rec leagues would go and play against other rec leagues, and that started the AU, really got it going. Then they had the club teams and everything got going because of him.
Growing up, was there? I mean, was it basketball 24/7 with you and your brothers and even your dad?
Yeah, I would say for me it was. I think it was a little different for EJ and Evan because they had more of a competitive spirit. For me, I think I grew in love of just watching the game, understanding the game, seeing the ins and outs of the game, and I think my brothers they did a good job of competing because I believe that Eric was always being compared to some of the top guys, and Evan was always being compared to Eric. So they had more of a competitive nature, and for me, it was just fun being able to watch them. So yeah, it's been pretty much all basketball my entire life.
Did you guys have a hoop at the house?
Yeah, we have a hoop at the house. It's right out here in the front yard, and we go out and we play all the time.
Has it got has a better hoop? Is there a better basketball court at the house than there was when you were little?
No, it's the same one. I think My parents and me and my brothers, we've all decided that we want to keep the same hoop. Just for nostalgic purposes. We want to always be able to walk outside and see. That was the hoop that got us to where we were at. So it's been the same one.
How did your dad keep you guys involved in the game at a little age?
So for it was like I said, it's a little different for me, EJ and Evan. I think for EJ and Evan, he always had them playing against each other because my dad used to play in men's league. So at the Jewish Community Center across the street, we would always play there, and there would always be a lot of other kids being able to play. So for them, he kept them, always playing and always doing something in training. And for me, he kept me a little bit more involved of just watching the game, going to games here and there because I rarely miss any one of, my dad's games or any one of my brother's games growing up. So I think for me, it was really important for him to make sure that we were all involved in the game. So yeah, we were always involved.
I follow you on social media. We're friends on Facebook. I follow the E3 Basketball Academy also. Are you working there this summer? I've seen your photos quite a bit on there.
Yeah, I'm just helping out, just trying to stay involved with the game as much as possible because I normally like working out in the morning, getting everything done, and then I think it's good for me to just come and just get back to the kids. It's just something that I think every player should do, especially right now since there's no competitive sports going on, and they're all going to get the workout. But I think it's important for any player that right now, if they're not necessarily in school, for them to always be training or helping others.
How long's your dad been doing that?
This is going on his eighth year. He's been doing E3 Basketball Academy now for 8 years, and it's grown a ton. There's been a lot of good players that have came out of it. There's been a lot of different AU teams that have started up, just in the past couple of years. It's really good for just development, and I think that's the biggest key for my dad. It's not necessarily the accolades, but the development of each player, and we've seen a lot.
And where did you play your junior high ball?
So I played my junior high ball at Westlake Middle School. We were the only middle school ever in Washington Township to go undefeated for 2 years in a row. So I hold that pretty tight, and I think me and the other players on the team, still hold that bond to this day.
So when the whole family gets together, are you guys more about what's going on in your lives, or do you guys is basketball still the conversation in the family?